Hey guys, yeah, it's us again. Southeastern 16 with Max Barr. Our third reaction stream of the day, and don't worry, we have a fourth coming. Our SEC basketball reaction primetime stream is the one we'll be calling it. Saturday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. That'll kind of be the all-encompassing stream to kind of recap the entire day, the big picture, everything like that. But we said we were going to talk about this one afterwards. We thought this was one of the most intriguing games of the day for obvious reasons, I think, Max, because we've talked about how dominant Auburn has been, and there are going to be some people who look at this game and maybe did not watch a lot of it, and they're going to look at the score and say, well, that may have been closer than I thought because Auburn's been just, decimating everyone, right? I think at the end, Missouri scored some baskets there towards the end to make it a little bit closer than it had felt like it had been. But I think, and I'll let you kind of explain this a bit, our thoughts are the same on why I think this is an impressive win for Auburn in a different way. Some of their impressive wins have been because why? They've been up, 40 or something, and you're like, all right, this game's just never in doubt. But I think this one's impressive because I think it has a little bit more to do for me with Missouri. And we'll talk obviously about Auburn, but I think that's kind of our thinking on this one, Max, is I think Missouri is pretty good. They didn't shoot the ball well in this game. Auburn shot 51%, I think it was, or 57%, excuse me. Missouri shot 38%. So you're going to struggle in that kind of scenario. But that was one of the things that I took away from this one is I think anybody going into that arena is going to struggle. But I think if you're a Missouri fan, you can come out with some optimism here because there were some things I saw from them that I feel like you can certainly build on moving forward.
I think you can say that for both teams. Optimism moving forward, and that's a rare case where we can say that in a game like this. Auburn up basically 40 points at one time. I was going to send a tweet out, but I've sent so many out about Auburn just being unbelievable that I feel like a broken record at this point. The word that I kept saying in my head as I was watching first half, little bit through the second half, was unfair. That's what word kept popping in my head. I was like, this is just not fair. The Chad Baker-Mazara gets in foul trouble, third foul, and you're like, oh, hey, there's a little bit of a window here. And then he stays on the court, he hits a three, and then right after Denver Jones hits a three, and it's a mini 6-0 run when you're like, wait, I thought they were just going to dig into this lead a little bit. There's no let up. It doesn't matter who's in foul trouble, who's not shooting the ball well. They've got too many weapons. So the whole game, I'm just thinking, man, this is just not fair. Yeah, Auburn they're just an absolute level above. But then, even though maybe Auburn took their foot off the gas a little bit, this is still an SEC opener. And both these coaches understand how important margin of victory is right now. And this is a Missouri team that said, hey, we're going to fight back here. And we're going to try to play with some pride here. They end up covering the spread. They cover the analytical spread. So this is actually going to boost them. This is a positive result for Missouri. So yeah, on both sides, it's a weird game, Blake, where in the same game I can think this is literally unfair. How someone waved the white towel, and then also I feel pretty good about Missouri moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting to me is I think it's just sort of. By the way, the lead only got to. I think you guys are giving me some wrong information. I was going to say that the lead didn't get to 40, did it? It got to.
I'm exaggerating.
Okay, I was making sure. I was like, did it get into mid-30s? I don't remember if it got that high. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but we'll find the play-by-play and figure it out. But yes, I think that was kind of the thing. Is 26? I think that's right. That's what I was looking at. I think it got to 26 at one point.
Who said 36?
I know someone said 36, and that's why I was confused. I was like, I don't think I watched the same game. I don't think it ever got to 36. But no, I mean, I think when you, but that's the thing, right? No, I mean but that 26 to Auburn, it's like, oh, well, that's not. I mean, come on, that's just another. It had the feeling
right?
It's just another day at the office for the Auburn Tigers. But yeah, I think that was the thing that stood out to me was. It's the way it's going to be. And I guarantee you, Bruce Pearl, he's not going to be happy with the finish to the game. He's probably going to look at this and say, hey, we have to understand that, in sort of just allowing a team to get it to 16 points in the final, score there or whatever. Hey, you got to sort of keep that consistency, because as you start to play more of these games and knowing the grind that's on the way here in SEC play, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Missouri wasn't going to lay down. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But nonetheless, I mean, again, the score was what it was. I mean, Auburn's up 20 or whatever with 3-4 minutes to go. And I think when you just sort of look at what you expected from this game, this was one where I think going in, we said, I mean, it's the same story, Max, as we talk about all the time. Like, it's just one team has Janai Broom, the other team doesn't. And when you just look at all the big plays, again, that this guy makes, 24 points, what do you have, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks, a steal, 2 assists. It's just, I mean, we say this all the time, but like, sometimes I don't want to just take that for granted and be like, okay, we're not going to talk about this guy because we talk about him all the time. No, it's okay. Like, we can talk about him every single time we need to, because he's just having that kind of season. What was it now? 9 20-point games this season. He had 8 all of last season, I think is the stat. And so it's just, I mean, what do you do if you're the opposition and this guy is the best player in the country and he just keeps impacting the game in so many different ways? It's just impossible, because the thing is, right, It's not just him. It's knowing that there are other guys who are going to step out, make big shots. You had in this game, Baker-Mazara finished with 13. Chaney Johnson had 13. Denver Jones had 10. And, yeah, I mean, it's the same story with Auburn. Like, just the way they flow offensively, knowing everybody has to consume their minds with Janai Broom and figure out what are we going to do. But at the same time, it's like, well, what do we do with everybody else? And that's just an answer that a lot of teams around the country just don't have right now, and that's why Auburn has been so good offensively. And I'm curious, Max, to see what that offensive rating on KenPom looks like after this game, because, again, they shot 57% in this one, right? Now, they did turn over 16. I don't know exactly how that factors into the formula, but that's at least something that I'm curious about.
Yeah, I got 2 things real quick. One, to the MIZ in the chat, Sam Smith is not being serious, guys. We gotta understand that by now.
Oh boy.
Another thing is, so it was 62-39 with 13 minutes left in this game. It was 62-39, and Missouri won the last 13 minutes by 9. That is kind of the point I feel like we were trying to make in the opening, how Missouri kind of fought back over an extended period. Last 13 minutes, not just like over the, it was the last, 2-3 possessions, they hit a few threes, and oh my gosh, the score looks way different. That last 10-minute stretch there was encouraging, if you want to call it that, for Missouri. But back to Auburn, I remember there was a specific possession. I feel like it was early in the game, and it was like an offensive rebound, or it was a very long possession, and it ends up with Broome at the top of the key, not wide open, but not right in his face. Kind of a shot last year, you would be like, oh, please just take that. If you're playing Auburn, drains it. And right there, I was just like, yeah, you can't catch a break. You can't catch a break with this team unless Dylan Cardwell is on the floor, which obviously he is a lot, but when he's not on the floor, every single player can knock down a 3 if they're open. And even him, he's not going to shoot many, but he almost had one earlier in the season. He might. Keep an eye out. We'll be here. But, yeah, it's just the addition of Janai Broom's perimeter game. He was already there a little bit last year. It's taken to a new level this year. That has just opened up the interior so much, and you can see it in the offensive efficiency numbers.
Yeah, if you do look at the numbers on this game, I think there's a couple interesting notes here. I mean, Missouri out-rebounding Auburn's probably not something we would have expected, just in terms of that. I mean, Missouri got 13 offensive rebounds in this game. I think that's, something. They limited Auburn to only 6 offensive rebounds, but again, keep in mind, Auburn shot 57% from the floor. So, there's not going to be as many opportunities when you're shooting a high percentage. Auburn goes 10 of 21 from 3, 48%. Like, that's just kind of the efficiency you're looking for. Took advantage of their opportunities at the free throw line, 18 to 24 there in that one. I mentioned the 16 turnovers. That may be something. But we said Missouri's a team that is going to force some turnovers. And, we said it, Max, like they're going to have to, I think, if you're Missouri and want to be successful this season. That's something that's certainly going to play out. And I mean, just again, you kind of just look at some other things too. It's like if you're Missouri, when you do yourself turn the ball over 16 times on the road, there were a couple of those, and I'm thinking back. some just on just flat out inbounds passes, right, where they're trying to throw from the baseline to the top of the key or something.
Yep.
Auburn just snatches it and they're going the other way. I feel like there were a couple of those sequences where that happened. So it's like that stuff adds up when you're playing a team like this that's been as dominant as Auburn has been to this point. Those are the little things that just add up to the point total that we got to in this one. But again, this was always going to be a tough spot for Missouri going into Auburn. It's going to be the same for everybody this season. Anyone who plays at that arena, it's going to be the same story. How can you handle these runs that Auburn is going to have, and how can you stop the best player in the country and then everybody else around him? Multiple other guys who can be all SEC type players. And it's just, I think it's the ultimate team thing. We talked about with Auburn too this season. They're just the ultimate team. Like they just have guys who have clearly defined roles, and they go out, they do their job, and everybody chips in a little bit in the area that they're expected to chip in. Right? It's just, Miles Kelly hits a big three in this game. He only hit one. He had 6 points, but like there was one spot there where I feel like you hit that three and just it's that momentum swing. Like it's just this team is just like a snowball that just keeps rolling down the hill, and like you just cannot stop them once they get going. And so yeah, I mean that's the story of Auburn's season so far.
Yeah, one major piece too that was very noticeable, but it played into the matchup. It definitely played into the matchup. But Auburn's ability all year to limit 3-point attempts.
Mm-hmm.
All right now they're 16th in the country in fewest opponent 3-point attempts per field goals, but we haven't gotten the update from this game yet. I bet it's even better. That's the thing. As good as the offense is, right? Historical offense so far for Auburn. They don't let you get threes off. So while they're just easy offense, consistent offense, easy baskets, kickouts, you are working to get a three off. It is so hard to get an open look. And that's one of the hardest parts. How do you keep up with them if you can't make threes, especially on the road? And you see a Missouri team who's probably best in the league, but best in the nation maybe, at getting to the free throw line. That battle was pretty much even today. And they shot 26. Auburn shoots 24. If you can't make your threes at a very high rate, it's going to be tough to keep up with this Auburn offense.
Well, and look, if you're looking at it from Missouri's perspective and you're looking at this game and you just look at the numbers, what would we have thought the score was going to be if we knew that Anthony Robinson was not going to score in this game, right?
And Grill.
And Grill, right, exactly. So it's just, I think if you put those two things together, we're probably saying, that thing got to 40 or something. So, I mean, and look, as we said, I think the score's a little bit misleading there towards the end because, Auburn pretty much had the game in hand. But still, at least Missouri showed that, hey, we're going to fight this thing till the end, and it looks more respectable, which, I mean, as we said, that's important based on the metrics and everything. So, yeah, so I think that was certainly something that stood out, and you're going to really struggle. No, I still say it's still our favorite thing about Missouri, Max, is that how many guys they play today.
It's going to take us all night to count.
They played a lot, and
yeah.
So yeah, that's still something where you're seeing everybody out there. I mean, what was it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys, maybe. I think it was. I could be wrong about that, but yeah. So I think that's kind of where we are with them. So, all right, as Max noted, boy, we're just really on our game today. Apologies to Bet Online. We're a couple of minutes behind on this one again, but hey, that's the state of doing this many reaction videos in one day. Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform. I can bet you right now, Sam Smith's telling me I got no energy. This is one of my worst ad reads ever. You know what, Sam? You may be right, but we can't get them all perfect, right? Bet Online, your number one source for online betting. Earliest odds, in-game live betting. Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. Largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. It's all there. Head to Bet Online today. Don't forget to use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online. The game starts here. Don't worry, guys. Sanders Logistics coming in the primetime stream later on tonight.
We've got a few chats to catch up on. Let's see here. First one, Sam saw enough good things to believe that Mizzou will bounce back and win the 2 home games. He's talking about LSU at home on Tuesday and then Vandy at home on Saturday, who are playing right now with
Those are
5
two big
minutes
ones.
left. And it is a 7-point game, but Devin McLaughlin is in foul trouble. So we'll see how that one ends. Zach with the $5 super chat. Zach's been in here all day, Blake.
Yeah.
Zach is ready to go. He is distraught because Auburn slips up late and does not get the cover. I bet you're not the only one that is distraught by the final sequence there. Randy.
Good teams win, great teams
joined.
cover.
There you go. What a saying. Randy's in here, new member. Thank you. Blake, here's one. I sad Mizzou fan. Are we cooked? I think this is a simple answer.
Cooked.
You are not cooked.
Now, those are two really important games coming up because, again, that's where you start to try to do the math, right, on how you get to a certain number in SEC play. And, I mean, it's a very unpredictable year because of how strong it feels like many teams are, but Missouri's got to win those games. Like, there's really you have to hold serve at home. There's no question because as we're going to see, depending on how the rest of these games play out tonight, when we look at this updated home record for SEC teams, it's going to be absurd because so far every home team has won today.
Yep.
Now we'll see. Vanderbilt's in a good position, it seems like, to pull off this upset against LSU, but it's only a 5-point game with 3.5 to go. So, we're going to find out, but I just think that's the thing. You have to win your home games, period. Yep. And so it doesn't matter who you're playing, right? If Missouri was hosting Kentucky on Tuesday, I'd say the same thing. Like, you have to, because at this point you can't assume you're going to be able to go on the road and beat anybody. No matter what you think about a certain team, you've got to hold serve at home. So those are huge games for Missouri coming up. So, but there we have it.
Let's get to a few more. Rich is in here. Rich has been here all day also. Appreciate everyone that's jumping in. Auburn is the best team in the country, and if they are hitting threes at the logo, game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it. There's no response. Like, you're 100% correct. Miles Kelly's pulling up from the logo, hitting threes. It's hard to stop him. So, yeah.
Yep.
What else we got in here? I had some others I think I put in there.
Tony's in here.
Tony. Tony, by the way, I think Tony said last night, Tony, you had emailed Caroline, which if anyone else wants to email caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. Don't forget that. It's not yet 16 on the email. caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, Tony, you said you emailed her. I asked her today. She doesn't have your email, so send her another email if you're going to do that. caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. All right, let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Gabe says that Auburn has destroyed the kiss of death. I mean, let's be honest. Like, the Southeastern 16 kiss of death so far, opening day, has not claimed a single victim, Max, that I know of. Now that I said that, we all picked Texas A&M. We all picked Alabama. So Alabama fans are going to blame us if it goes wrong against the Sooners, what's that score update right now? We'll see. We'll find out. I'll look it up. But
Alabama?
Yeah.
They are Alabama's up by 9 right now? 9, 11? 9 or 11? 10? Whatever.
Oklahoma can shoot the ball. Don't count that one over. It's not over just yet. That's the kind of team I would be okay with trying to shoot their way back into the game. If somebody wants McCluskey's Heating and Cooling, we might do that tonight in the prime time as well. McCluskey got a lot of business yesterday. Chad L. McCluskey got a lot of business. Alex wants to know how much ROI did Chad get. I assume he's probably had to shut down their own website. Probably too many orders is my guess. So, anyways, all right. What else we got? Let's see
here. Donovan is calling me out. Donovan's calling me out. Donovan said, Max, forgot that Isaiah Evans for Duke was wide open for 20 minutes. Hey, listen. He made 6 threes in the first half, and he didn't have another one the rest of the game. What are we, 14 games in the season now? They let one guy get hot for a half of one half. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me a break, Donovan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Sam says he's about to go listen to Gabe, the Armin, for a bit. Hopefully he's more cheery. I mean, look, Sam, we're not, I think if you're a Missouri fan, like, there are reasons for optimism coming out of this, but it's just, Auburn's going to do this to a lot of teams, and I don't think it necessarily means that those teams' seasons are over. It's just, I mean, Missouri was a how many point underdog here, and they lost by 16 or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, this was not exactly a shocking result. I think it's just that's how good Auburn's been this season. I think it certainly says a lot about Auburn. There are some things that you're going to take away if you're the opponent coming out of this with the loss, but I still think that Missouri's right now, in a decent spot because, like we said, how important those games are coming up. That's going to be the real story, I think, for Missouri. And you know what? Everybody's talked about that on the broadcast today. Is how do you respond to a loss in this league? Because I think Jimmy Dykes has said it. Some other guys have said it. Like the thing is, you can't let one turn into two and then three and four because that's how you start to be the team that we're saying, all right, every team entered with 10 wins. Yeah, that team's about to take the step back, right? So I think that's really what it comes down to. So if you're Missouri, you can't let this loss turn into a home loss because that can't happen. You have to win those games. So, yeah. But, all right, there was something a second ago. Big Baller Brett. You asked, are we getting a live after the Bama game? You have to wait till later tonight. You have to wait till later tonight. And this is honestly going to be the way it's going to be pretty much every Saturday. It's just how the games fall. Because we're going to do the stream probably at 7:30 or 8 Central, Alabama's not going to be done until 7 Central, so there's no reason for us just to do that there. So you'll have to wait maybe an extra 30 minutes, Big Baller Brett, than what we would normally do for an exact post-game type thing that we're doing here for Auburn, Missouri. So that's kind of our plan.
The KenPom has updated the...
All right, yeah, here we go. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, and it's a little weird. Auburn's offensive efficiency went from 130.9 down to 130.6, and Missouri dropped from 52 to 53 overall. I don't know, but
it's not bad.
I thought there was
projected. Yeah.
The projection was pretty much right on, but I thought we were going to see Missouri move up a little bit, not down. But hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to tell you we like what we saw, and we think that there's some stuff to be excited about moving forward into these next two home games.
Yeah. Well, I think Missouri again is going to be interesting because they are now in a position where they have to win these next two games. And again, you have to take care of business at home. Meanwhile, for Auburn, they go to Texas next Tuesday, and then they go to South Carolina next Saturday. Like, I think those are two very winnable games for Auburn. We'll see what Texas looks like tonight against A&M. And look, South Carolina just didn't look great earlier. We said that in the other stream. So, that's kind of where our thoughts are going to be on that. So, all right, a couple other things. Hey, Tony, yeah. You know how I read this initially? I initially read this as Tony saying, we've been on for the past 24 hours. And I was going to say, you're probably not wrong. Like, I feel like we have been on for 24 hours here. But, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. Right, we appreciate you, Tony. Yeah, send that email again. We'll get you taken care of. I would give you my email, Tony. Find me on Twitter, and I'll give you that. I'm not going to give it to you here because I know Sam Smith will send me all kinds of emails. And so I'm not going to allow that. All right. Vandy LSU is about to wrap up here. What else we want to get to, Max? We're going to jump off here because again, we kind of got to everything we needed to in this game. And then we're going to be back in about 2 hours or so for the prime time reaction special, which will be the one you guys, kind of come to know us for. This will be marathon-esque. Now, listen, not in length, just in terms of how we kind of do this. So that final hour and a half of the marathon last night, that's probably what this will look like for the whatever whatever this thing is we're doing tonight. The primetime special reaction. Whatever. We'll be there. So we'll talk about all the games from the day, give you some additional thoughts that we didn't cover in these other videos, and we'll kind of talk about just the league as a whole coming out of this Saturday and moving forward. So we'll take your questions, super chats, all that good stuff. If you want another, blind ad read, we'll do that too. So, all right, guys, we're heading out. Set your notifications. We'll be back on playing right now, 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll be talking about everything else from the day. We'll be talking about this game a little bit more. We'll be talking about the SEC coming out of day one. Max, 8 teams are going to lose today. Is the SEC overrated? Come on, folks. Come on. We'll talk about it. All right, we appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you here in a bit. Southeastern 16.